Hello, good day. Let's start this new lesson for Unreal Engine 5.7.2.
Hello, good day. Welcome back. In this video, I will show you how to create a blend space 2D. So essentially what will happen, you have a character, the character go back, forward, left and right, and the animations will change appropriately. So for those who are unfamiliar with a blend space is a way to really blend animations based on a value. So, and this will be very appropriate for this exercise where you want to change your walk-in. So let me show you. So right now, if we press play, okay, it's taking a while to load up. You have a character that could go forward, that could go backward, go left and right. But you realize that when you go left, we're not really playing a left animation. When you go right, we're not really playing a right animation. We just have the forward animation, and the forward animation is the same animation playing backward. So we want to actually address this with a blend space 2D. So the first thing you'll need to do is to really download the animation. So what you'll need to do is go to edit and well, go to window, go to fab, I have fab here, and then you can look for animation starter pack. Just type it in and search for it on fab and then add it to your project. I will create a blend space for this. So what I'll do, I'll find which part of the character. So I'm going to my main character here. This should open up here. Yes, it's open there. So I'll go to viewport. This is the static mesh. And what I will do, select the mesh here. I will go and look for the animation blueprint. So I have it in this folder here. And then I'll create the blend space. So what you'll do to create this blend space, you can right click, go to animation, blend space. This one should be the blend space 2D. We need to choose I try to remember which one we use this for. I'll choose this one here, Pirate John. Was blend space underscore 2D was idle run. And I'll put this John. So I will know personally this is blend space that I'm using for Pirate John. Then you can save. I save a lot because Unreal Engine has a tendency to crash. And then of course, you're supposed to open this up. So double click and open this up. All right, so we have the blend space open up here, and we can see this has the two axes. We have one axis here, the Y axis, and we have the X axis here. So we have on this panel here, this is the asset details. This is where we can adjust a lot of different details about the character and the blend space. And this we have the skeleton tree, we can actually see the bones for the skeleton for the character right about now. We have this area here, the blend space graph. So we have the y-axis and we have let's say, the x-axis. And we know it is a combination of these two values that determines how the character actually blends when you go left and right and so forth, how it's going to blend between the different animations. So it's always good to go to the asset details here and set up the values. So the horizontal axis value, this one could be, let's say, the direction. For the minimum axis value, let's put minus 180. So minus, so that means that we can go backwards. And for the maximum axis value, we'll put 180. So if you turn 180 to the left, you turn 180 to the right, you essentially are spinning around. So that's what I'm doing here. I'll just save. I like to save all the time. Next, I'll turn on snap to grid. Essentially, it allows you to snap. So if you realize here, there's a grid here, there's a grid here, there's a grid point here. It makes it very easier to snap the different animation nodes to the grid right there. So that's it for now for the horizontal axis. Now let's go to the vertical axis. For the vertical axis, this here will be the speed. We're obviously talking about some kind of movement, forward, backward, and so forth. So for the minimum axis value, the minimum axis value will be, let's say, 0, because that means standing still. And the maximum axis value, now for this character, I think by default, the maximum axis value is around 600, but I'll put this at 800 because I take in consideration sprinting. So I'll have my character sprint. I will save. Now, I want to mention one time that right here in this asset browser, you're really supposed to have all the different animations that you could use for this character right about now. But the reason why, for some reason I've not seen it, maybe because it's this character skeletal mesh that I'm using. So more likely than not, I'll have to do some retargeting to ensure, well, for every animation that I want to use on this character, I'll have to do a retargeting. And when I do the retargeting, they will appear here. So I just want to mention at one time. I'm gonna just try something. So I'll right click, I'll move to animation blend space 2D, but choose this one UE4, call this blend space 2D underscore idle run, type UE4, double click and open this. Let me see if I'll see all the, oh no, that's still not seeing all the animations here, so I still will have to do retargeting. So that's okay. I just wanted to test something here. Okay, so I just recreated the blend space and I used the correct skeleton mesh. You can see now the different animations are appearing there. I'm gonna just take off this. So I won't show this again. But no. So you've seen all the animations showing up there, so that's very good. So I'm gonna just configure the horizontal axis and the vertical axis in the meantime. So now I want to put in the jog. So we jog forward rifle 1. So then I'm gonna just type jog forward. All right, so jog forward rifle. Put this here. That's how we run with the rifle. Still not snap the grid. Yeah, it should be there. For the when you're running faster sprinting, I could try and find a different animation, but I'll just use this for now. Can save. Save. Then I'll put one here, a node here for like, let's see, when we have the idle. So I'll save in the meantime. And then I'll look for the idle animation. I'm supposed to look for idle rifle hip break. So type here idle rifle hip break. Select this. Drag this in 0. So I'm gonna just pull this direction here. I drag idle rifle hip break. This one here. Idle rifle hip break. Sometimes it kind of difficult to move the node like what you want. So you can just select this. Make sure the speed is set to 0. So that's it. Note you could enter the what I'm gonna say, the information for the speed and direction. So although I put the speed on the, let's say, the y-axis and I put the direction on the x-axis, you could configure it differently. Yeah? You could really configure it the other way around, but I mean, it will work. Just make sure you configure it properly. But when you put in nodes here, you can always configure the exact point. So I can put the speed exact values here, have 0, 0, and the direction, I have the exact value at 0. So then I need to configure the left movement, and then I need to configure the right movement here. Okay, so what I'm doing right now is looking for animations. So I want to get the left and right animation. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to use the Lyra starter project animation. So I need to actually go to, well, create a new project with Lyra, and then try to do export for the animations. So what I have just done, I just close off Unreal and I've gone to Epic Games Launcher and I need to go to, well, I have Unreal Engine selected here. Then I need to go to Library and then I need to, well, when I go to Library, I need to look for Lyra, create a project, and of course, Lyra start a game. I'll change the location because I don't want this on my C drive. I want this on my um disk drive, my E drive. You could just choose whatever location you want. After you select the location, click create, and it will create. So I have the Lyra starting pack here. I'll just save because I just made some changes. So these are the animations I just duplicated. The jog backward, the jog forward, the jog left, and the jog right. So that will be the animations that I'll be using for the migrate. I'll migrate these animations to the other project. So I'll just highlight these animations and I'll just do a migrate. So it will be the rifle jog animations. So forward, forward, I have left control, I have right control, and then I'm supposed to have the backward. I'm looking for the backward. This is the backward here. I have these selected, right click, and go to, supposed to do migrate. Asset actions, and go to migrate. Select OK, and then choose the folder. I'm using this folder. Select the folder, and this is the migrating process here. So now the animations have been exported and migrated. So the animations have been migrated. I want to emphasize migrated because exported really means something different in Unreal. The next thing I want to do is do the retargeting of the animation. So what I did, I went in the screen content browser here, content draw, and I just type in right. I find the animation, and I'll just right click, retarget animations. I will find the target skeletal mesh. It's UE5, it's a UE4, SK mannequin. I will look for the animation. It's supposed to be something with right. Then click export animation. I need to find where to export it to. So I'll go to anim starting pack. Let's put it here. Let's export. And I'll do that for all the animations. So now that I have done the retargeting, now it's time to add in the animation. So the first one I'll add is the forward. So I'll take this forward here and drag this across. So let's just see it. So hold control on the keyboard, then drag the mouse. So this is forward, and this is the running. So it looks different. So I mean, yeah, we can work with this. So we can see the sprinting animations will be different from the normal animation, normal running animation. So that's good. Let's look at the left. We take this and we drag this across the left. Now, can we put this, let's put this about here. Direction, speed, let's put the speed at 600. 90 degrees, all right. Dismiss. And for the right, what we'll do, we'll look for the right here. Find the right, put the right here. Yeah, the speed is okay. And then we want to put backward. Let's see if I could put in the backward here. So to put this backward, because you can move backward, I'll have to go by the minimum. So I need to go to this vertical axis here. And for the minimum axis value, I need to change this to maybe 600 minus speed. No, but it's minus 600. Enter. And then I'll put the backward value here. I'll deal with that in a while. So minus 600, let's find the backward. Take the backward and drag the backward here. So the backward, put minus 600. Minus backward, drag the backward here. Select this, take minus 600, enter. And that should be it here. So if you want to see it, idle, forward, running, we're going to the right, left, right. I find the writing really looking properly, but anyhow. Yeah, going backward and so forth. So I mean, this is working. So now that we have created the blend space, the next thing to do is add it to the animation blueprint. So double click and open this up. We open it here. So we need to, well, I already have an animation blueprint here. So all I'll do is go in the idle run state and I will change this. So that will be this. And okay, so I'll need to, obviously I'll need to adjust the direction and the speed. We need to promote these two variables. So promote this, promote our variable, promote this star variable. Now we plugged in the blend space. So you could turn these two variables in these two parameters in the variables direction and speed and plug this into the animation, the output animation pose. We need to go to the event graph. What I did, I took the speed, I drag this across here, this was the speed, and I set the speed. So previously this was connected, so I just replaced this with the new speed here. So what I did, I drag the speed here, and then I connect this, then I connect this, then I connect this, delete this, drag this here, then I compile. So that's, we already know how to connect the speed. So the only thing we need to connect now would be the direction. So in the end, this is how I configured the setup. So I went back to the event graph here. So if this is this locomotion, so if we go in the anim graph, we go into locomotion, we go into idle run, we see this is the blend space created here. You have the two variables. And what we'll do for the event graph, this is what I did. So we could delete all this because this is not really in play. So we took from the try get pod owner, we drag from here and get actor rotation. Then we took from the get velocity, this was already there. We drag from here and we created the calculate direction node. Then we plug the get actor rotation into the calculate direction node. And we already had this variable here, direction. We drag this variable here, we drag it across here, we drag it as a set. And then we just connect the green to the green pin here. And then we just connect this. Well, this needs to be, in order for this to run, this needs to run from something in. So we just run this from the last execution while here to the end and it worked. And So I don't really need to compile, but I'll just compile and save. Compile and save. And if you go to level and press play, this is working. So you're moving forward, right, left. The only thing is that we're moving backwards and I don't really like this back animation. So what we'll do, I will look for animation and I will replace this animation. But generally, that is what you have to do to configure this. So I achieved the objectives of this video, so I'll end this video here. Thank you.
That is it for this lecture. Do you want to learn more? Like and subscribe. You can also contact us, Impulse Response Enterprises Limited.